John wanted to be rich, so he set himself the goal of being financially independent in no more than 10 years. What did John want? John wanted to become financially independent. How soon, at most, did he want to become financially independent? He wanted to become financially independent in 10 years at the most. First, he decided that he would travel all over the world to achieve his goal of financial independence. What did he decide first? First, he decided to travel the world. He decided to travel all over Brazil? No, he didn't decide to travel all over Brazil. He decided to travel all over the world. When he arrived in Beijing, China, he found someone to teach him the Chinese language, as he had learned that knowing Mandarin could help him break even financially. Which country did John travel to? He traveled to China and arrived in the city of Beijing. What did he discover that could make him financially independent? Well, he discovered that by learning Mandarin, he could become financially independent. So John learned the language in just 1 year and went to work as a translator for a large Chinese company that had branches all over Brazil. How long did John manage to learn Mandarin? He managed to learn Mandarin in just 1 year. He worked hard and he learned it. But just a few weeks later, John was fired. The company went bankrupt and he had to return to Brazil. What happened a few weeks later? John was fired because the company where he worked went bankrupt. Was John promoted to company manager? No, he was fired from the company because it had gone bankrupt. Next, John made a radical decision in his life. He decided to take the money he had earned in China and set up a health food store. What did John want to work with after he returned from China and arrived in Brazil? He wanted to work with natural products. Initially, the store was making a good return. He was making a lot of profit. But during the pandemic, he had to close the store and quickly lost all the profit and all the money made in China. He had to start again from scratch. What happened to the health food store? The store went bankrupt and John lost all the money he had made in China. Why did the health food store close down if it was initially doing well and making a profit? Well, the store went bankrupt because of a pandemic and the number of customers dropped dramatically. One day John was discouraged at having to start again from scratch, literally from nothing, so he thought about it and said, I need to be financially independent. I need to not be dependent on physical labor. I need to be able to keep my expenses down without having to work somewhere myself. Why was John discouraged? He was discouraged because he had to start from scratch again, having lost all the money he had earned in China. What did John think? He thought that he needed to be financially independent, that he shouldn't have to depend on conventional work to pay his expenses and live well and well off. Did John want to work for a company again? No, he didn't. He wanted to be financially independent. He wanted not to be dependent on physical labor to support himself, pay his expenses, and survive with peace of mind and dignity. So John decided to set up an online business. He created podcasts and started selling audiobooks and info products. What did John decide to do? He decided to set up an online business. What did he decide to do in this online business? John decided to make podcasts and sell info products and audiobooks. After a few months, the online business took off and John was able to become financially independent and no longer needed to work in person anywhere, as he was able to make ends meet with his online business. Did John achieve his goal of financial independence? Yes, he did, and now he no longer depends on a fixed, face-to-face job in a company. Why does he no longer need a fixed, conventional job? Because the online business has taken off and now John no longer depends on a fixed job. He has achieved his goal of being financially independent.